Welcome to Marketing 101. In this slideshow, we are going to go over some basic marketing terms as well as our different contract types we offer in Fairbank and Shell Rock. To start out with, we're going to break down how we get to a cash price. So the first part of that is futures. So futures are the price on the Chicago Board of Trade. We do not define the futures price, only the basis. Futures are broken out into 5 different months: March, May, July, September, and December. As you can see, I broke out which months bid off of which futures months. So Jan, Feb, March all bid off March, April, May off the May, June, July off July, and so on. And then you'll also note that the CH abbreviation represents March, CK is May, and so on. So if you see CH18, that's referring to March 18 futures on the Chicago Board of Trade. Basis. So basis is the difference between the futures price and cash price. So if the Chicago Board of Trade is at 365, cash price is at 345, that makes basis a 20 under. Here we get into the over-under definitions. So over is when the cash price is greater than the futures price, and basis is a positive number. So on the right-hand side, you'll see 365 plus 20 is 385. So we would call that 20 a 20 over. And just the opposite is when cash price is less than the futures price. So basis is a negative number. So on the right-hand side, you'll read 365 minus a 20 under gets you to a 345 cash. Strengthening and weakening. Strengthening can also be referred to as narrowing. So this is making the cash price greater. So if we go from a 20 under to a 10 under, that's called strengthening or narrowing. Weakening or widening is just the opposite. So basis is declining, making the cash price less. So a 20 under to a 30 under would be an example of weakening or widening. Cash price. So futures price plus your basis equals cash. Carryover. So carryover is what you hear about during reports, and that is the quantity of corn remaining at the end of the marketing year. The marketing year runs from September 1st to August 31st. A bullish market. A bullish market refers to a market that is leading higher or prices are increasing. A bear market is just the opposite, where prices are declining. Spread. So spread is the difference between two future contract delivery months. So on this table here, you'll see the March is at a 365, the May is at a 373. And the difference between those is 8 cents, so that's an 8-cent spread. Since May is greater than March, that is called a carry. If it was the opposite and May was less than March, that would be an inverse. Typically, we are usually in a carry market. Futures expiration. So this chart will be of interest to you, especially for those of you who use basis contracts, HTAs. This will tell you when we roll from one futures month to the next. So on April 25th, we're going to be going to the July futures. So these are the dates where you can refer back to those. Cash contracts. With cash contracts, you set your delivery, quantity, and price all at the time of the trade. So when you look at our bid sheet, you'll be able to see what bids are for what months, and that's the price you're locked into. A spot contract, so that is corn delivered to the plant without a contract. The price is for the nearby month at the end of the day. So if you deliver corn, say today, you'd look at our most nearby price, which in this case is a 355. Basis contract. So with a basis contract, you set your basis for a specific delivery period. Your contract can be written for any quantity. Futures are set at a later date. 75% of the contract is paid out after the contract is fully delivered on. The corn can be delivered before futures is set. Basis contracts can be rolled with no fee. It would just be the difference in the spread. Why would you write a basis contract? If you think futures will be higher at a later date, or if you think basis will widen, you would maybe look into doing a basis contract. We'll go through an example here. So Farmer Joe calls in and wants to sell 5,000 bushels on a basis contract for April delivery. So we look at the chart. Joe is locked into his 26 under the May basis. Joe has to deliver in April, since that's the basis month that he chose, and his futures are left open at the time of the trade. On April 15th, Joe delivers 5,050 bushels. We will fill his 5,000 bushel contract. 50 bushels of overrun are spotted at the end of the day. We'll pay out 75% of Joe's money for his basis advance. And then Joe is still responsible for setting his futures or rolling his contract by the futures expiration date, which in this case is April 25th. Here's an example for you to do a basis contract on your own. A hedge to arrive contract. So with HTAs, your futures price is set at the time of trade. They can be written off any of the 5 future months, so March, May, July, September, or December futures. These contracts can be written for any quantity. Basis has to be set at a later date, and it must be set prior to delivery. These are free of charge. If you're wondering why you would write an HTA, if you think basis is going to improve in the future, or if you think futures will decline, those may be reasons why you would want to do a HTA. We'll run through a few examples here. Farmer Joe calls in and wants to sell 5,000 bushels of corn on a D18 HTA. So Joe is locked into his futures price of $3.94 off the December board, and we will write the delivery for October through December, since those are the 3 months that we bid off of the December futures for. So at a later date, Joe calls in and wants to deliver his corn in October. So we'll look over at the October basis that you'll see is a 40 under. He delivers his corn October 15th, and we pay him out 100% of his contract once he delivers it. Another example, Farmer Jane calls in and wants to write a March 2019 HTA for 5,000 bushels. We look over at the board and we can see the futures price for March of 19 is 402. And she wants to deliver her HTA in February. So we'll take a look at the February basis, which is a 25 under. So she's going to get the 402 minus the 25 to give her a cash price of 377. She'll get paid out her contract as she delivers. In this example, we're going to roll a HTA. So Farmer John calls in and wants to sell 2,500 bushels on a March 18 HTA. So we write the HTA up for 2,500 bushels, and we set the futures at 365 off the March 18 board, which has the price or roll date of February 23rd. On February 20th, John calls and wants to roll his HTA to the May futures. If we look at the difference between the March and the May futures in the chart here, it's 8 cents. So John's new contract is now written for $3.65 plus the 8 cents, which gets him $3.73 off the May futures. And his new price or roll date is April 25th. John calls in on April 22nd and wants to set his basis for April. So John will net the 373, which is his new futures, minus the 26 under, to give him a cash price of $347. Here's a bid sheet to do your own example. A price later contract. So price later contracts are not something we offer all year long, but feel free to give us a call and ask if we currently have one. With these contracts, you deliver the grain with no price locked in. We take ownership at the scale. The price must be set before the established price date. And when you price that contract, you have to use the nearby price. So in this example, if you had a price later on the books today, and you want to price it out, you'd be looking at a $3.55. Offers. So if you have a target price you'd like to set a certain amount of bushels at, feel free to call us and put an offer in. We will just need the price that you're looking for, the bushel volume, and the delivery period that you're looking at. We monitor the markets 24/7, so if the market hits that price overnight, we will go ahead and fill that offer. Now we're going to go through our discount schedule. So we will take up to 19% moisture. Everything is shrunk down to 15.5 using a 1.4% shrink. Anything above 17, there's a 2-cent charge for every half point above that. And all of our discounts are settled on a load-by-load basis. If you're looking at the chart and you bring in 18% moisture corn, so we're going to look at 1,000 bushels at $3.40. So without anything, you would be netting $3,400, but we're going to subtract the 3.5% shrink, which moves your bushels from 1,000 to 965. And then we have the 4-cent discount on moisture, so on a 1,000 bushel load, that nets $40. So you're down to $32.41 in your pocket. Test weight. This is just an overview of our discount schedule for that. Damage. So what do we consider damage? That can include heat damage, sprouting, or mold. And these are the discounts we use for those. Foreign material. That may be broken corn or bees' wings. These are the discounts that we use for FM, so 3 cents per point from 5 to 10 and 5 cents per point for 10 and above. We also discount for sour corn, musty, live weevils. Those are all subject to rejection. And on this slide, you'll see our contact information. Feel free to call us at any time. And please do note that all the information in this slideshow is subject to change at any time. Thank you for listening.